Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah and this is Bookshelfish. Today we're going to be doing a mid-year check-in since we're now halfway through 2026, which is crazy. And so I'm just gonna go through my goals and see how we're doing on all of them. Let's jump into it. So if you are wondering where I put all of these goals together, I have a video from the beginning of the year that kind of goes through my process, why I was making these goals, etc., etc. So I have 10 reading goals this year. Typically, I like to come up with reading goals that will help me get through my TBR or help me make use of ways that I'm choosing to spend my money in the bookish space. So for me, I like a lot of book subscriptions, and so I need to be better about actually reading the books in the book subscriptions to make them worth the money that I pay for them. So a lot of mine are sub-box based, but let's just jump into this. So first, this is my quantity goal. I always set my actual Goodreads goal and my personal quantity goal at 52. I think 52 is a very manageable amount of books per year for me. And so if I just hit that, I would be happy. But for the last couple of years, well, I think in 2026. So in 2023, I hit 200 books. And then in 2024, I hit 190 and then or 191, and then I think last year I had 190. So I've kind of hovered around that, and so I just set 200 as my stretch goal, something to actually work toward, even though if I don't hit it, it's really not a big deal. Every time I got 190 or 191, nothing happened, the world went on. I've been using a lot more audiobooks this year than I have in years previous, really since that 2023 number, and so I think there's a good chance I can make it. But anyway, we did not get off to a galloping start at the beginning of the year. If I am going to read 200 books in the year, that averages out to around 16, 17 books a month. So I usually shoot for 16, knowing that there are going to be months that I don't end up hitting that. I will maybe pop this up on the screen, but for mid-year numbers, I should be at 100, right? Halfway if we're gonna make it to 200 by the end of the year. And I ended up hitting 111. So we are on track for that, actually a little bit ahead, which I'm very happy about because, you'll see this in January and February, I only got 13 and 12 books respectively, so those were pretty slow reading months for me. I still read plenty of good books, to be clear, but because they weren't at the 17 number mark, I knew I was gonna have to make up some room. And then it wasn't really a good thing, but I injured my back really badly in March, so I had to take some time off of work, and then I just worked from home, and then I was bedridden for multiple weeks. So I really kicked up my reading then. I read 19 books in March, and then 22 in April, and then a whopping 26 in May, which was absolutely crazy for me. Biggest reading month I've ever had in terms of quantity. And then I was back down to 19 in June. So I feel the 19 to 20 range is probably what I'm going to target for the rest of the year. Although even if I just read 17 a month, I would still be ahead of schedule. That's very nice. And I don't feel rushed on it, which is good. Next one, I came up with a 26 and 2026 book challenge. These are just 26 books that were on my TBR. I did ones that were already on my TBR, not new releases or anything like that, so that I could get them off of my shelves. And I read 7 of those in January. I read 2 of those in February, 2 of those in March, 7 of them in April, 4 of them in June. I didn't read any of them in June, but I only have 4 left after all of that. So I think that the 26 and 2026 is definitely an accomplishable goal for me. And every year that I've set one of these before, 23 and 2023, 24 and 2024, I never end up finishing it. And so it was really important for me this year to make this a priority if I'm going to do it. And I did it. So, or I'm in process of doing it, but I should have been at 13 mid-year in order to still be on track. And obviously I'm at 22. So we're doing pretty well. Next up, actually, this was kind of a cheater one, not intentionally, but one of my goals was to get my NetGalley ratio to 30% or higher. I know 30% does not sound very aspirational, but I always fall into this hole with NetGalley where I'll request a bunch thinking that I won't get approved for any, and then I do. And then when the time comes to read them, I might not feel like reading them at the time. So my ratio is always terrible. I honestly don't know why I get approved for any books at all because it's so bad. But my goal was to get it to 30% or above. And I think I started the year with 20 26% and was able to get it above 30. I have since taken myself off of NetGalley. I didn't like delete my account or anything. I just haven't been requesting any books because I'm really trying to get through my physical TBR, and I'm doing pretty good job, I feel like. So I feel good about that. But because I haven't been reading anything new off of NetGalley, there's still 3 arcs that are sitting there that I have yet to read or review. Oops. But my ratio is above 30%. It's at 37% now. So I have still technically completed this goal. My next goal was to get my TBR to 700 or less. I started the year with 759 books on my physical TBR, and I have been able to reduce it almost every single month just by reading things off of my shelf. I did go through and just do like a full sweep of my TBR and get rid of books that I really am not that interested in reading right now and don't think I will be in the near future. And I ended up getting rid of about 80 books. That obviously took my TBR down quite a bit. You see the number in January, it was 67. I ended with 767. Then in February, I went up to 771, March down to 760, April down to 751, May, this is the big jump, down to 675. And then in June, it was down to 661. So I think my new like soft goal for myself is to get it under 600 by the end of the year. And I feel like I'm on a good trajectory to be able to do that. So we'll see. My next goal was to read 15 Book of the Month books. I had a phase when Book of the Month was my only book box subscription where I would just get like anything that looked interesting. Then Book of the Month bumped up their boxes to allow you to get like 5 books a month, and I abused that deeply. So I have a ton of Book of the Month books. I think I still have like around 30 on my shelf that I'm trying to get through, but that was like almost, well, math. That was like over 50 books that I had at the beginning of this year. So I've done a really good job. My goal was to read 15. I've read 25 Book of the Month books this year. 3 in January, 1 in February, 3 in March, 4 in April, 8 in May, and 6 in June. So I'm really revving those up. Book of the Month does like a yearly challenge so that if you read like 15 books, you get a like prize. And so I completed that, and then they have a 1 level up from that, which is reading 30 books, but you can only count books that you bought the current year and then the year previously. So only my books from Book of the Month that I've purchased in 2025 or beyond are eligible. And I have quite a few backlist ones because I started my Book of the Month subscription in 2022. There's a couple that aren't eligible for the challenge anymore, which is not a big deal. I still want to read them. We're working on that. But I am on track, obviously. Well, not even on track. I have completed this goal. Next, another sub box one was to read 15 Fairy Loot books. I am a Fairy Loot subscriber. I have been for about 2 years now, I think, and I didn't start with the Romantasy YA and adult. I think I just started with Romantasy, and then I got approved to do a combo YA and adult book subscription later on. That's like 3 Fairy Loot books a month that I am just getting. If I'm not reading them, those pile up really quickly. Anyway, in January I read 3, February I read 2, March 0, April 2, May 3, June 2. So I haven't been doing like the best job at reading at least 3 a month. That'll probably be a goal for me next year. We'll see if I stick to it, but I have read 12. So if I was to be on track for finishing this goal, I should have read like 7 to 8 books so far. And so at 12, I'm doing pretty well. Next, this is a goal that I am failing at. So another one of my boxes is Allurial, which is Book of the Month's like Romantasy specific subscription. They do it like Book of the Month in the sense that you have like 3 options of books to pick, and then you can either pick one or more or skip. And so I have really liked their choices and have been getting usually 1, but sometimes I skip Allurial for the month. My goal was to just read 5 this year because I wasn't even sure that I would like actually purchase 5 this year. And I've only read 1. That was in the month of May. So I am very behind. I should be at like 2 or 3. I am not. That'll be something to do to work on. Another sub box goal was to read 5 Owl Crate books. I have completed this one because I've read exactly 5. I read 1 in January, 1 in March, 1 in June, and 2 in May. Another one I'm behind on is reading 5 Moonlight book box subscription books. Moonlight has, I think it's probably my favorite subscription. I love their books. I am behind on this one. I've only read 2, and both of those were in May. So behind on that one. My very last one was to read all of my Aardvark book box subscription books. I have not been a subscriber to Aardvark since the first, I think I had them for about a year, right when they first started. They actually sent me a PR box from their very first launch month, and I had those books still on my TBR. Some of them I did get rid of just because I felt like I don't have an interest in reading these. I didn't choose them. I just got sent them. got rid of a few. I had 5 aardvark books remaining to read, and I read 3 in March, 1 in April, and 1 in June. So I have completed that goal. I no longer have any unread aardvark books on my shelf, so I'm very happy about that. By the numbers, for mid-year, I am done with 5 of my goals. I am on track or ahead for 3 other ones, and I'm behind on 2. So all in all, I think we're doing okay. I know that was just a lot of words at you, but I feel really good about this year. I had a really disappointing June in terms of reads. I didn't have a single 5-star in all of those 19 books. I want July really to be about me kind of refinding my reading spark, hopefully getting a couple of 5-stars in there, doing some buddy reads, all that good stuff. I also feel like I need to just go through, maybe reorganize my bookshelves would help, and maybe I should put all of my like subscription box books like together on individual shelves. That might be an idea so that I can like visually see the progress. I actually really like that idea. Maybe I'll do that right now. So anyway, I don't really have a ton else to say because this is just going to be a quick little run through, but thank you so much for sitting through this. If you watched, comment below one of your reading goals for 2026 and maybe like how it's going. I would love to know. I know a lot of people don't set book goals because they don't want to make reading a chore, and I completely understand that. I am just so checklist oriented that I love to like set goals, meet them, track them, the whole shebang. So I really enjoy it. I love to hear about other people's goals. I would love to hear about yours. So let me know. That is about it for today. So thanks for sitting down with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.